another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Consider becoming a subscriber to the channel. If you dig the way any of the information is being broken down, presented, reviewed, previewed, analyzed, discussed, whatever, hit the like button or, weigh in with your own thoughts. People seem to, whatever. Anyway, huge sports weekend. First of all, let me invite you to check out the It's Always Personal podcast that can be found everywhere, especially on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's Always Personal. This week I had from the quarterly report a guest appearance by Armand Lee. We chopped it up about a number of different things. Very thoughtful cat. He's just recently hit over 200 episodes of his quarterly report podcast. Thoughtful brother from the East Coast. We talked through quite a bit. I'm gonna hit this John Gruden thing very quickly. I'll be getting into that more on this week's It's Always Personal. But I saw the Randy Moss tears a la Kirk Herbstreit. Teddy Bruschi, said some strong things about John Gruden. I'm not gonna lose my mind over what Gruden said about DeMaurice Smith. I don't know the man, and I could imagine, there's some players in the locker room that he'll need to repair those relationships. I don't know what the organization should do. I'm not going to go into this in depth here, but, looking at the commentary over on a website like outkick.com, which had an article on the piece, and, they never disappoint you over there. And, you can't take the website seriously in a lot of regards, but the thing that's disheartening to me is that they want to do conservative sports talk and service this group of guys who want to hear sports in a certain way. But then you get over there and you have a story like this and you get down in the comments sections and the racists show up. The ignorant racists show up. And no one ever comes in there and checks anything and calls out. You can't leave everything up to interpretation. And this whole thing, this whole thing about and it was not lying, or he was referring to DeMaurice Smith's his feelings that DeMaurice Smith was lying a lot, and he has a term called rubber lipping. And so he was saying that DeMaurice Smith's lips are as big as Goodyear tires. He was saying that's representative of how much he's lying. And I think this was with regards to the collective bargaining agreement that was being renegotiated. I don't know if we can buy that or not. But it gets into the same situation that we have here with this Wilder and Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight, where we go to attack people personally or because of physical qualities and whatnot. When we in sports, we go to attack somebody on a facial feature and whatnot. And I can't even remember if Gruden was a coach at the time, but this was the thing that I had with some of the guys in Outkick in the Outkick.com comment section was, you send this email to Paul Allen, who I believe was with the Washington at the time, the Redskins, the team president, and maybe Allen had something to do with a committee or something, some leadership amongst in the front offices, and you put this statement about DeMaurice Smith in an email, and what I'm thinking is like an official email. Was it John Gruden writing from ESPN, his ESPN.com account? or I don't, was he? I don't know. I can't remember where he was in his career at that particular time. But just a horrible look, and it's no way. We know all of the things and the history. When you look at the minstrel shows, the blackface, we know everything. And coming out of the 60s and the 50s, you know what the messaging was with the lip thing. So it's not like we're out here shooting in the dark and there's not a direct throughway between racist history stuff and kind of what drove John Gruden to make this comment. Shout out to DeMaurice Smith. I thought his response to it was pretty professional. Like screw John Gruden, but now I got to do this. Now I have to have my name in the paper and then out in the internet to my family, where I was embarrassed in front of my family. So, but I'll get to that more on It's Always Personal. Let me jump into this fight, get this over with real quick. Shout out to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder for an excellent fight. A lot of heart, great competition, phenomenal highlights. I mean, effort, everything you could want. I think my two key things for Tyson Fury, I mean, it should be clear to everybody at this point, but he's the more superior boxer, probably the more superior fighter. He just is. But I don't know if you caught this year's U.S. Open, but they used a lot of boxing references talking through tennis this year, and I was like, damn, I didn't know all these people were boxing fans. But it was, back fighting, putting people on the back foot, counter punching, playing defense, which defense is universal in all sports. But one thing that Chrissy Everett kept saying that really was problem solving, when different players on the court were facing adversity, she was like, a good attribute of their game is problem solving. And I think Tyson Fury could problem solve. I think and that feeds into the fact that he can fight for all 12 rounds. So you put those two or three things together and you get the victory that you got. I don't really have a bad thing to say about Deontay Wilder that nobody has already, some of the stuff that's already been pointed out about his skill set. Hell of a heart, a warrior, and the dude has never, he's never claimed to be Cassius Clay and a phenomenal boxer. The dude is a fighter. He goes out there and puts it all on the line to put food on the fork and feed his family. And that's all I can really say about that. I think they had a big decision going into this fight. What were they going to do to offset Tyson Fury's size and the weight advantage? And I'm not really going to criticize them and critique them for what they chose to do, which was bulk up and confront the bully and be able to try to back the bully down. I thought the big thing would have been able to work on some movement, figure out some different tactics to keep the space that would be ideal for Deontay Wilder to get off his shots. Some different ways of stepping around, slipping off, sliding off. However you were going to do it, I thought that would have been the focus. So I thought that would have really included, great cardio. I think with them opting to bulk up, I thought it led to the gas tank issues that we saw. And, getting into the 5th, 6th round, he had the 2 knockdowns of Tyson Fury in the 4th round. I think once we get into the 5th, 6th, 7th round, the dude was looking out of gas most of those rounds. He just happens to be deadly as hell when he's most desperate. We've seen that before. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, at the first knockdown in round 3, I thought it might have been an early night. But Deontay Wilder, wasn't going anywhere. You know, he wanted to get paid for overtime. Like I said, he bounces back in the fourth. Tyson Fury got a little careless, probably had ridden Deontay off at that particular moment after knocking him down in the third. I didn't really see the long count thing. I'm not arguing that it didn't happen. Andre Ward spoke about it. I think Lennox Lewis might have commented on it as well. I was taking some notes at the time, and just in the middle of all of it, I looked away from the screen. I didn't see that part of it. So hopefully that didn't mar the fight significantly, and that's what the story becomes for the next week or two, or just today or whatever, 48 hours. But the rest of it, you know, we saw some similar images in the corner for Deontay in between rounds. Like, he's going through hell trying to fight and compete and to try to get his titles back and get it back in blood, as he said. During the fight, Malik Scott wasn't necessarily a net negative to me. I don't know if he was truly a plus. I don't know. For a first time trainer in an event of that magnitude, I can't say that he did horrible. He just didn't have the better fighter, and the better fighter couldn't get it done. But I think the, you know, with Wilder being bulked up, you know, an extra 18 or 19 pounds on him, a lot of that up top, you know, in his upper body. Now we hear reports of his hands being hurt. He chose to go to the puncher's gloves and whatnot. All kind of storylines. But, you know, muscles need oxygen. And the guy couldn't recover. Then you start taking some pretty big shots. You know, that was crazy because Fury didn't even go to some of the illegal punches or the questionable punches that I thought he threw in the second fight. I thought both dudes straight up fought. You know, they brawled and fought. It was boxing. I was a little surprised Wilder never came back to like jabbing just throwing the jab up top. I think when he was going to the body with the jabs, it seemed like that was using a lot of energy, you know, to set that up. You got to move your whole lower body to step forward to make that punch. Whereas if you just stood tall and worked the jab to the head, that's such a more efficient way to deliver the jab. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't really have much negative to say about the dude. I just think once he became fatigued, it was very difficult for him to stay. You know, I think it killed his accuracy. It was tons of opportunity for him to land a big shot, you know, and hurt Fury and possibly get another knockdown or stoppage. But when you're just like fighting to fight and just fighting out of fatigue, it's just difficult to be accurate. And again, he didn't have a problem solving characteristic that Fury has. I thought the knockdown in the 10th, where Fury ducked up, this is a 6'9", 280-pound dude slipping under Wilder's right hook, sliding over, I think, to his left, and then coming back with his own right hook and drop Deontay. That's stuff that Deontay Wilder just can't do. That's just amazing that Fury can fight and move like that for a big man. I mean, the dude is just a better fighter. Coming into the 11th, I didn't like the fact that Russell Moore just chose, and maybe it was mercy. Maybe, you know, he was intervening so that because he felt that Wilder was going to continue to try to fight. I think you got to let the man try to get up. You know, I'm not saying it should have continued on, but I think you got to let the man get up and give him and evaluate him and make the determination of whether or not he can continue at that point. But to just call the fight at that particular moment, being that late in the fight, I didn't really like that. But it happened. It brought an end to the fight. You know, Wilder didn't want to clap. He didn't want to touch him up after the fight or congratulate the winner, and whatever. What I don't like, and nobody said anything about nobody said anything about Anthony Joshua a couple of weeks ago. Everybody stayed with the fact that he's such a gentleman and he has so much class and whatever. But Joshua left the ring without doing the post-fight interview that night. He acted like he was disappointed with the decision that was clear cut, and he exited the ring without talking, and I didn't like that. And nobody gave him any stick about that. And then this weekend, Wilder gets up and leaves the ring, exits the ring without talking to the media either. After that fight, after that type of punishment and whatnot, and that type of grueling fight, I ain't gonna say a whole lot about it, but I think when you fought your ass off like that and you left it out there in the ring, you just stay and do the normal duties. You say what you had to say. I don't know how you get disappointed or pissed off when the dude wins in that kind of fashion. You just, hey. I do like that he came back and, he came back with the statement and said that he tried his best and, his best just wasn't enough. I think that was a fair statement. He fought his heart out. He had plenty of times in there earlier in the middle of the fight where, it could have been over, but the dude kept trying. Hell of a fight. So I ain't really got too much more to say about it. I might do a It's Always Personal and talk about the fight a little bit more in depth. It was crazy watching it, man. I mean, you rarely get to see two warriors in the ring like that. I'm not so sure we get that many highlights from any of the big pay-per-views that are left. I think we get pretty good action in Porter and Bud Crawford. I do think that'll be an excellent bout as well. Caleb Plant and Canelo, I don't know. Caleb Plant is not really I just never seen him have to dig that deep and do anything that was really that off the charts, unless you want to say what he did against Uzcategui. And that win right there, really didn't age all that well, because Uzcategui went from being what we thought might be a bad man to everybody watching Uzcategui. So I don't know what to make of that win right there. But like I said, man, I salute both of those guys. I thought the fight was it seemed like for the most part everything was on the up and up. I don't think people can really go back and pick this one apart and make this statement, that statement. This wasn't right. This wasn't fair. Illegal. This. I really didn't see all of that. But who knows? We get over to the next 24, 48 hours. All kind of stuff could come out. That's just how it works. Anyway, let me get on off of here. I guess I ain't to the parking lot just yet. Deontay Wilder, I saw the statement from Chris Mannix that Deontay should consider retirement for what? I don't know how people just put athletes in retirement just because that's what you would do. He's made enough money, he's made in excess of $20 million for 2 fights in a row. He can go on and retire. An athlete, you still want to be, you want to be relevant. You want to, maybe you don't walk away with that kind of taste in your mouth. Maybe you just want to still compete. You look out in the landscape and see other big fights that are possible. You still want to compete. The dude to be 36 soon. Let's not act like there aren't makeable fights and marketable fights that he can be in. Mannix just looks like an idiot, and I don't know, man. You get some of these dudes a microphone, they get all the clicks and the views, and they got the platforms and whatnot. But to sit here and say that Deontay Wilder should retire after that performance, coming off of the trilogy, it's almost as bad as some of the shit that Stephen A. Smith said. It's almost as idiotic. You just want to be the first one to try to point. Now, what he did say that I do agree with to an extent. Would 8-figure money be there for a bout against Dillian White? I don't know. Would 8-figure money be there for for Andy Ruiz? I don't know. So he was trying to say that he was basically saying Wilder has no popularity or limited popularity. I don't know, I don't know. That's really not my argument to make. But like I said, if he wants to go out there and continue to have big nights, knock people the hell out, and if he wants to carry on with his career, I think he should do so. And Mannix, you just look like you obviously gonna get black people to click on that and watch it and call you all kind of names and whatever. So I guess he, mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Let me get on out of here. Thanks for rocking with me. Like I said, man, if you like the way any other topics were discussed, preview, all of that, whatever, hit that like button. Leave me a comment if you you had some different views on the fights. Maybe you thought the knockdowns for Fury did receive long counts. I don't know. Like I said, I was taking some notes and writing some stuff down. Maybe I missed that detail. I'm out of here, man. Have a great week. Like I always say, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.